Normally I would do a live and it would be Let's Talk with Mark, but I just decided to type Let's See with Mark. Reason why I've done that is because, well, what I normally do every now and again is I'll do a little read. Well, I don't know if you know who I am, but if you do, over the past 2 decades, I've been what's called a psychic. I don't like that word. Think it's filled with ego and filled with a lot of lies and manipulations by people who pretend. But basically what I used to do is sit opposite somebody and place my hands, just hover above their hands to feel their energy, and then give them information about their physical, mental and emotional state when they realized that I wasn't a fraud. And how the hell did they know I banged my left toe, which I used to be able to attune to. Same with crystals, you can attune to its energy of healing you. So when you hold a crystal, if you feel something in your body, that gives you an indication that that crystal vibrates at a frequency of healing a certain body part. Every body part has a certain frequency. We are all made of energy. Every single part of your body is made of a frequency energy, and crystals attune to a kind of disruption in that frequency and energy that it dispels, takes away, clears and heals. Anyway, I can go into detail and spend 4 days on a workshop talking to you about just that alone. But saying that, I used to do readings as well, and I really enjoyed, a little bit nervous, but I really enjoyed, even after 12 years of sitting in front of 10,000 people, I would still be nervous doing readings. I think it's a good thing. It shows that you're not overly confident to the point where you're telling people that they're wrong and you're right, which I've seen in many situations when I've been in huge events where somebody's next to me is basically bullying the person that they're telling that I am right and you're wrong. Shut up, listen to me. So yeah, that's what I used to do in my little room in Mijas Pueblo, in the magical mountains of Mijas Pueblo, Andalucía. I haven't got a drink, and I should. I've got all my bottles, but I don't like drinking out of bottles. And I don't want to get up neither. Okay, only I drink out of this bottle now, but I don't normally drink out of bottles. Because somebody else might take that bottle and want to drink out of it. Anyway. So yeah, that was to give you an indication of that I used to be a genuine reader for 12 years solid. That's every day, even Saturday and Sunday. I used to read for tons and tons of people all over the world. If you don't believe that, just look at the testimonials. They're just a fraction of maybe 3,000 or 4,000 testimonials I have. I don't believe in ego, don't like testimonials, but that's what I used to do. And when I say that, it took some doing and I had to work hard at it. I wasn't naturally born this way. Yeah, I had to work hard, and I enjoyed doing it. And the cards I used were Carl Rohrig. I can't show you them because I'll get another strike because there's some nudity on one of the cards. So yeah, it got banned. But it's okay for Bonnie Blue to talk about all her wonderful, amazing abilities and gifts that she has with men. But, you know, hold a card up with the breasts out and you're in trouble, pal. So you probably know I'm very much a person that expresses his opinions, thoughts, and I guess to a point of judgment. And I don't like being that way. I wish I lived in a world where everybody was filled with love and kindness and I could share so many beautiful stories about wonderful things happening. But unfortunately, you don't hear of them anymore. They don't put them onto YouTube, the censorship of all censorships channel. They don't share goodness, love, kindness, because that doesn't feed the feeders, as you all know. So what we're going to do now is I've got in front of me a book called Hold That Thought. I've also got another book called From My Heart to Yours. Oh, those were the days. Those were the good old days when we didn't have much to worry about, only our emotions. I've got a deck of cards here, which is angel cards. I've also got another deck of cards here, which is my first edition angel cards, and I've got another deck of cards, which is my second edition angel cards. Is there anything else you want to pile on? That's enough. And I've got these flipping awful glasses, which I'm coming to terms with that Mark, his eyes are getting a little bit older these days. So I went and bought these, not knowing the only thing that kind of looked okay. All the rest of them look stupid. So this is what I look like with glasses on. Oh my God. Do I look intelligent? I'm not, trust me. Fucking furthest from intelligence. And as Bob Marley says, I am not educated. I am inspirated. You see, if I was educated, I'd be a damn fool. Go on, Bob Marley. You saw straight through the bullshit, as the 1% do. So yeah, I'm going to give you a little treat. I hope it works. I hope you enjoy it. So where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? Start without the glasses, Mark. Okay, we'll start with this beautiful deck that I created many years ago. So what I'm going to do is close my eyes and just, you can see my eyes closed. So you see there's no kind of strategy or trying to fool you. Okay. Here's the first card. You can see, I can't see it yet. Let go. So today, the theory is on Mark's Let's See is to be able to see through and see the future as it goes. So this is what we're doing. You're watching this and this is your message. If you get angry with me and I get angry with you, how can we make anger stop? It takes a stronger, more loving person to break this pattern. It takes a caring and understanding person, free from pride and free from ego, in order to let go. Never be the weaker one, for this will only keep you trapped in anger and in pain. So, moral of the story is that you can fight forever. And I've met many people fighting forever, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your wife who cheated on you, whether it's a property you bought and next door neighbors hate you and you're fighting. All I can tell you is that the quicker you let go and forgive it, not because they're right, just because it's no good for you. So somebody has to be the stronger one. Forgive it. You don't have to let it go in the sense of, oh, it's all perfect. You know what? I don't like what you did, but I forgive you. And that's a really good thing. You see it as a thing that is beyond that what you're dealing with. It's gone. And I'm not being angry with the actions that you took. So I forgive you, but not your actions. And that's a good way of working on it. I can give you many stories about people who suffered tremendously and ended up with Alzheimer's because they fought with their neighbors, or they couldn't stand a partner, they couldn't cope with a partner who cheated on them, or simply a friend who betrayed them. What I saw with people who held on to that, I saw age. I literally saw people growing old tenfold. The ones that came in for a reading and they understood the reading, because every time that I used to read for somebody, I would always, for some reason, be guided to give the true story. What is that? The story of the person, of what they were going through, what sadness they were going through, what pain they suffered as children, the abuse that they were still in, and all of the things that they never saw. Once they had that information, they were able to forgive the person, but not their actions. When you are able to forgive that person, you move on. It's not saying come back into my life and hold me and be my friend again. It's like, I forgive you. And you know what? What I found with that is once you're able to let that thing go, not only do you de-age, you don't age anymore. You stay in the same energy for much longer. And with that comes the most amazing miracles. Why? Because you're not in the cesspit, the heaviness, the burden, the cross that you carry of that situation. It's gone. Why? Because you were stronger than it. You were more powerful than it. So let go today. That makes complete sense to me. And it did when I was sharing that information through my family and your family in spirit. So I think that was a quite nice card from the first edition angel cards of Mr. B. Oh, that's nice. How did you come up with these great things? I don't know. Just giving a reading, a healing, another reading, a healing, a healing, a healing, a healing. And it's 8 o'clock at night. I get out, walk out, feel really good about that day as I'm walking along here with my 2 schnauzers after picking them up from home. I went to visit my tree to heal and cleanse and clear, because trees help you clear that energy that you've picked up through that day. And then all of a sudden, a beautiful thought comes in your mind. And as that beautiful thought comes in your mind, you get your pen and you start writing. If you get angry with me and I get angry with you, how can we make anger stop? It takes a stronger and more loving person to break this pattern. It takes a caring and understanding person free from pride and ego in order to let go. Never be the weaker one, for this will only keep you trapped in anger and pain. Wow, that's good. I'll save that. And thus I could show it you over there, like a little book, because we didn't have phones back then that we were clicking on. So I was just write that down, and that would be a page, and I just leave that page. And eventually I had like 300 pages with these things, or 500 pages. And this is what I came up with. It went into cards if it was a shorter message, and it went into books if it was a bigger message. So literally it went into this book if it wasn't that big, and it went into this big book if it was bigger. So that was basically like after 7 years of doing the work full time. So where do we go from here? Why don't we go to the second edition angel cards? Let's see what it follows up with this card. Okay. See, my eyes closed, so I'll just show it you there. What does it say? Okay, greatest heroes. Often our greatest heroes are the ones who feel pain the most, battling the most, and living through the hardest of challenges. The stronger we are, the more we go through in life. So I'll say it again. Sorry. Often our greatest heroes are the ones who feel pain the most, battle the most, and live through hardest of challenges. The stronger we are, the more we go through in life. This short but powerful message tells us everything. Right now, there are probably 95% of humanity switching on their mobile devices, their home computers, and searching for their heroes, looking up to them heroes like they are something powerful, that they are the greatest, that they want what their heroes have. They want to be just like their heroes. And what I try to say after channeling the message from probably reading for an A-list or B-list Hollywood star, that these people go through more pain than you. What pain did I see? I saw pain of unspiritual belief. I saw pain of only somebody who wants to be famous. I saw a person that had sold their soul to the dark. I saw so much suffering in these people that as I walked along, I wrote this message. So what I try to explain to people in this message is, if you really think about it, that those that you think are your superheroes, like it could be Jordan Peterson, it could be Candice Owens right now. All of these people suffer terribly. They suffer more than you can imagine. So if you knew this, if you knew that your heroes suffer more than you could ever imagine, that Robin Williams, who killed himself, and so on, all of these people that you thought were the funniest people in the world, the most powerful, the most, strongest, they suffer terribly. Once you get that into your head, you then start to calm down. You start to see them for who they really are, which is a body and a soul, and they feel pain and they do stupid things, and they are sometimes more corrupt and greedy and nasty than you could ever imagine. When you start to realize that, and it becomes almost like a penny drop moment, because there is a saying, never meet your hero. And it's true, never meet your hero, because what you blow up in your mind to be the best person in the world, there might be now an influencer on Instagram that they have 10 million or 100 million followers. I can tell you this out of experience. I have read for these people over the years who have millions upon millions upon millions of followers. They are in such a bad state. They are so low and so ill and so upset and so lost. All they do is they come in front of a camera and they act. They pretend. And ultimately they lie. They lie to their followers and their friends and themselves. And that is a horrible state of energy. That is in a state of evil, and they don't know it. Being in the darkness is a really horrible state to be in. So that's why I wrote this message. Don't look upon anybody as any different from anybody else. Don't put anybody on a pedestal, because you'll be severely bruised and broken. And that way you see people like yourself. And that way, probably what happened was, how can I help people who just can't actually find their path? And all they do is scroll, looking at all these people that they wish they were. That's why I wrote that. So who's your greatest hero? If the answer is anybody else than yourself, then you've never understood why you've come here. Anyway, beautiful card. Food for thought. Always. Everything that I give you is food for thought. Nothing else. So my first deck of angel cards. This isn't a promo. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not Candice Owens. Angel cards. I've just turned that over, and yeah, that's my ex-wife there. I put her on twice. We did a pull out the other day, and I mentioned, my ex-wife's on these cards. She's on two of them, and I went like that, and I pulled out that one, and there she is. Just as Spirit likes to have a laugh with us. Of course they do. Your family love to have a laugh with you. The worst thing you can ever do is feel pain and suffering. The worst thing you can ever do. When you say to me, how's my mum in spirit? I'll say, how are you feeling? Feeling terrible. I said, that's exactly how your mum feels. You are a reflection of your spirit world, of your family. Once you understand that, you'll heal from grief. Anyway, here's your card today. You're the first one to see it, because I can't see it yet. Okay, let's have a look. Angel of Energy. Got to get my glasses on for this one. Okay. The writing's a little... I used to see the writing very well when I first made them. Okay, this is your message, so I hope you're listening. I hope the microphone's on as well, because I didn't look. Is the microphone on, or am I going cuckoo here? I think the microphone's on. I think so. You know, it's just me in a nutshell. Takes about 4 hours, and then it looks and sees that the microphone's not working. It is working, right? Or else I'll stop. Microphone is on. Bless you, Darren. Thanks very much. So here, Darren, here's your message today. You are a shining light. And just as the lighthouse stands still and shines bright, so now you too must be as a lighthouse. There is no need to run to people's rescue. Simply trust that your light will reach others. Your light will keep them safe and will always help them to see the way home. All I ask is that you enjoy your new journey. You have and always will be an earth angel. There you go, Darren. You earth angel, you. So why did you write that, Mark? I wrote that because I probably read that day for 3 people who were absolutely exhausted. I saw when they came up the stairs that they were carrying more crosses than they could bear. I probably saw in that moment that these people truly believed that their path in life was to try and help everybody, run around, be crazy, and try to stop everybody from feeling pain and suffering. And as I was probably walking along, I probably received that message as I was reading for them, or as I was healing from, I was getting the message. How did I get that message was normally of two ways, but the most prominent one for me was they looked like jigsaw puzzles, and they'd show me pieces. So in this, for instance, I can honestly say I would have seen hands, and I would have seen a lighthouse, and I would have seen somebody carrying a cross. And I would try and put these pieces together and think, okay, I get what they're trying to show me. That's how I see spirit. Totally different from most other people, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So it didn't come in words. It came in as a thought or as a picture. So a thought would come through my mind or an image, okay? So after that day of helping maybe 3 people who were burnt out and exhausted, I would have walked to my tree, sit down, and I would have thought about how powerful are we when we don't try too hard? How weak are we when we try too hard? How weak are we when we embrace other people's pains and hold on to them? How strong can we be? And the spirit world says, be like the lighthouse. It doesn't move. Oh, yeah, the lighthouse. It shines a light but doesn't move, and yet saves so many lives. What does that say, Mark? Well, it tells you that if I become that lighthouse, stay still, just be who I'm meant to be, shine my light, be the person that I was born to be, that people will feel that. People will receive that healing, and people will change. They'll feel safe and secure. They'll find their land, they'll from drowning, and they will then act upon what they saw. I like the way he acts. I've done it loads of times. I've met people that I've gone, wow, they didn't even need to say anything. I saw their light. Or I watched them, just wow. Never said anything to me, never forced anything to me, never told anything. They just shone their light. And maybe they were somewhere and they spoke about something. And I watched their actions afterwards and thought, wow, your speech is just like your action. So you're not a bullshitter. Wow, I can see that the energy that you're giving off. And at one point I was like that. Now not so much, because I'm not in the energy of healing people every day. So I don't have that kind of energy as I used to do. But at one time my friend came over from England, and she said to me, she was my best friend. We were just walking in the village. We went for a walk. I took her for a walk round. I think it was the first time she came. And as we walked back up the stairs to Tickle Pink, the shop that we owned, and I was above that doing readings, we walked past apparently 2 people fighting, arguing. And we just walked past them as I'm talking to her happily. And she says, oh my God, Mark, you've changed. And I'm like, really? How's that? She says, Mark, you would have never walked past them 2 people arguing with each other and not intervene and trying to sort it out or feel bad about it. Or she said, you just thought, you know what, they'll sort their own shit out, and you're different. And I went, wow, she really sees me. I have changed. I'm not somebody who dramatically jumps into something anymore. And I do allow people to be who they're meant to be and have their conflicts and not become involved in all of that. And that's exactly what this card is saying. You don't have to be involved with everybody's pain. You don't have to be involved as the person that has to stop everything and break everything up. Let that issue take its own course. Let that experience resolve and heal what needs to be healed in its own way, or else it will just keep happening. You stop somebody from falling, they're never going to understand what it feels like to fall. Never. So let them fall. My daughter was on a bike. She fell loads of times, but I made sure she fell on the grass. I made sure, if you want to learn that, if I'm going to teach you, China, how to ride the bike. She was one of the youngest kids in our whole area that nobody could believe it. Nobody could believe it. Why? Because I made a commitment to her. I said, I'm going to help you. She wanted to have a bike and she wanted to ride it. And she kept pulling at these stabilizers. Dad, Dad. And she's pulling at the stabilizers. She wanted to be like the older kids on our street. She didn't want stabilizers on. So I'm right, okay, I'm going to commit and I'm going to help you. So I took the stabilizers off. We went to Highburton Park where they used to play football, and we started. I pushed her. She started. She fell off. I let her fall. She's on grass. I said, you okay? Right, try again. Push her again. Took about 3 or 4 days on and off. Kept doing it. She kept trying. She get better and she fell. Try it again. She get better. She fell. After about 5 days of doing it nonstop, final day, she got it. And for another 2 weeks at least, she was riding around that. She was so happy and she wanted to ride home. And I said, no, not yet. Not yet. Not riding home yet. Not yet. Not yet. Keep riding. Keep riding. And I'm right. Now she's got it. Now she's never going to fall off that bike. She was 3 years old, guys. She was 3 years old. People used to stop and look and think, is that a 3-year-old on a bike without any stabilizers? My point is, yes, you help people if you think there's something really bad going to happen, like your kid's going to fall onto concrete. You won't let that happen. But you do have to let them fall at some point to understand the feeling and know, because that feeling comes like people say that we live in a world where it's nothing but like David Icke's talk about this world being nothing but an evil copy of the world, and we're all just here to feed bad energy, the feeders. Not all. Some of us live in an earthly life where we grow stronger from the pain. We learn from the pain and we overcome that pain. Not everybody. Most people stay in the pain. Most people like to be in that pain. Most people like to tell everybody they're in that pain. It's called victim mode. You've heard of it. Lots and lots, if not millions upon millions, right now are in victim mode. It's easier to be in victim mode. And that's normally because you didn't get the love that you needed from your family. You didn't get that respect from your friends or your partner. So I understand that. But what I've seen is people who fall. There are some that, okay, that hurt. I get back up, try again. Okay, I fall. I know what it's going to feel like. So I'm now more aware. I've got more wisdom. So maybe I fall differently, or I'm careful how I fall, or now I know the difference between falling and balance. And because most people fall because they have no sense of what happens when they fall. I might sound stupid, but there is truth in that. You know, so when you fall, okay, I know what it feels like now. So it's not that bad. So now I don't have that fear anymore. Anyway, that's why I probably did this card. It was many years ago. I hope you're enjoying this. Let's see. So this book is called Hold That Thought. It's very good for squatting flies, as all my books are. And if it's a dodgy leg down there, and like it's like, you know, the tables, you stick it under there, and basically that's how powerful this book is. So the first person to say a number that matches in here, I'll read your message out. So you just need to say a number. I think we start at we start at 7. So the first number that came up, which starts with 7, past 7, is, I think, Maria. Maria is number 8. So here's your message, Maria. Okay, this is for all of us. Love, strength, self-worth, inner peace, inner beauty, inner trust. If you could hold on to these words that filled your heart with happiness, would you? And the vision to always see your inner gifts, if you could, would you hold on to that vision? Then here, take my mirror and see everything that lies within you. Number 8. Just so you know, I'm not winding you up. I would have probably read that day for people that had a lack of self-worth. I would have tried to help them understand who they truly were. You see, when I put my hands over somebody's hands, I not only feel their pain, but I also feel their gift and strength. And what, as a reader, I did for 12 years was try and give back what they'd lost through the pain of a father that abused them, or a mother that ignored them, or teachers that just called them stupid, and so on. So I reminded them who they are. And those words to me are extremely powerful, because most of you, if I said to you what I said just there, most of you would let go of it. Most of you wouldn't believe it. But what saddened me, what I saw through the many years that I needed to try and change in people, is to remind them of who they were by way of their gifts. And I used to feel them, just my hands above theirs. I used to feel the power within them. What is it that makes them special? What is it that is important? What is it that is going to take them on the path of self-realization of one's gift, of rather than somebody else? And their gift's better than mine. No, it isn't. Yeah, it is. I want to be like them. Well, then you'll never be like you. And I had to try and put that into words. And that was a reminder to say, would you? If I told you who you truly are, would you believe it? Would you really hold on to it? And I kind of specialize in one thing as a reader. I was there to do my best to help you remember who you are, your gifts, and to share with you your spiritual path and how amazing you are. And did everybody listen? No. Did it make people feel better? Yes. How long for? Till the point that they decide to go back into their pain and suffering. Did some people really change? They did. I have even messages to this day where people send to me, you read for me 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and that changed my life. And I said, well done you. You changed your life. I could say that to anybody, but at that point, nobody might listen. The fact that you listened, and really, I'm talking about not listening with your ears, but listening with the wholeness of who you are, to then remember who you are. And I'm happy for them. I'm ecstatic for them. Never see them again, but they never forget that point changed their life. Why? Because somebody actually showed them who they are. They remembered who they are. It's a beautiful gift. So let's start at number 50. Give me a number from number 50 to 100. First one, what comes up? Okay, the first number that came up there, I said 50 to 100, so I see this one. So, Loving Life. Nice to have you with us, Loving Life. Okay, so that number was 63. So I guess your message and all the rest of us, our message is this. 63. Oh, it's a bloody long one. Oh my God, am I going to be able to cope with this? Now you can see why I don't read books, right? Oh, you guy bloody reads books. Of course he does. Listen to me read. It takes a lot of work. Okay, so this message is for you, Loving Life. And all of us, is for all of us. Remember, dear friends, when you think life is not pleasant and everything seems as though it couldn't get worse, there's always a bigger picture. Everyone's life has its ups and downs. Some of us choose to experience in this life being alone at some point to find out our truth and our own happiness from within and not from inside of us. Right. For the first time, I don't understand what that means. It's the first time I've read something and don't get that. Maybe I'm lost somewhere. I'll just read that it's all one sentence, but it's that last part. Some of us choose to experience in this life being alone at some point to find our truth and our own happiness from within and not from outside of us. Of course, I understand what that means now. Stupid Mark. Sometimes, just sometimes, if we step back from our mind and egos and from basking in self-pity, there's always a beautiful wisdom in our most challenging moments. Remember, beautiful soul, the greater the challenge, the more powerful and amazing we are. And I truly believe that, guys. If you were your own, people, David Ikes and Mark Passio said, this is spiritual hijack. This is bullshit, because by saying this, we just end up suffering all our life. But I'm sorry, I have seen suffering of people become stronger through the most challenging moments. So you don't take that away from people. But I know what they're saying. Okay. If you were your own guide and teacher, what would you tell yourself in this moment as to how to conquer your current obstacles? How would you guide someone else in this very situation? What advice would you give them? Always a beautiful thing to do. Very hard to do, but a beautiful thing to do. Step out of your own energy, look at your life, look at your body, and pretend it's somebody else. What advice would you give them? That's always been a lovely message from Spirit. I've always heard that, and other people have said it too. That's a universal principle. Whatever that first instinct and message is that you felt, take it on now. Make that first step towards changing your current situation and elevating yourself. Get up, dust off, and take the first action. So why would I have said that? I would have probably met and read for a lot of people who struggled to move forward and believed that they were in the energy of black magic. They felt they were in the energy of somebody who said something nasty and it stuck with them. It could have been it could have been voodoo, black magic, curses. So what would I do in that situation where I know full well there's no attachment? I know full well there's no black magic. I know that they are in their own energy, belief system that somebody else is more powerful than them. So they believe everything that what somebody said to them. So they take that on board and create it within themselves. That's what black magic is. My point being is, how do you help somebody who comes to you who has lost that belief system in life, lost their trueness, their power, their wholeness, their purpose? Actually, reading that is very similar to what we've talked about. All of this is very much connected, right? I think I've seen a connection between everything that I've done in these cards. So I guess today our get up message is, let no one have the power over you. Let nobody, whether they're on a black screen and you think that they are the best thing since sliced bread because they speak the best words, they read so beautifully, doesn't matter. I can't read, doesn't matter. Well, your intention is all that matters. And even the smallest thing that you do, as somebody once said, the smallest of action, do it the greatest of love, even though you'll probably say that this person was evil. Forget that. It's the truth. The truth is that everything that you are and what you do is special, is important. Everything that I've learned in 20 years, if you ask me what's the most important thing in life, I would say that you don't know your true power because you do not allow it into your life. You see it as nothing more than a waste of energy. I tell you, when you stop looking outside, like I didn't realize what it said. Now I get it. And when you start realizing that you have the most powerful gift in your own way, and once you get that gift, once you hold on to it, once you believe it, once you work on it, then you will be the person you are meant to be on this planet. I'll leave you there. I hope you enjoyed Let's See with Mark. If you did, let me know and I'll do this more often. makes a change from the heaviness. I get it. I know, but I am trying to change and I am trying to do my best. I do try to change the way I am. I'm not always stuck. So have a lovely day from my heart to yours. Thank you for joining me today. 117 beautiful souls out of 194,000 subscribers. Yes, censored I am, but I will never stop speaking. Take care. Have a lovely day. Bye for now. Bye.